So we'll do that one. And, if it looks like we need to do the other one for further context, maybe we'll do that. But, so it says they're crashing out after the massive content cop backlash, which I'm guessing is Hasan, Frogan, Denons, all of them that are like, basically did that. The problem is, I don't know if I can. My activity feed thing is screwed up. Oh wait, hang on. Hold up. And second chat. Okay, never mind. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to actually just manually silence them. So I'm gonna just manually, because unfortunately, my stream elements, dock is not working, which is where I would silence it. So, unfortunately, I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but it's not working. So, no, I don't think I need to reboot. I'll just, basically what I did is wait. Here we go. No, wait. Okay, hang on. Okay, here we go. It's gonna turn off the channel points ones too. There, okay. I'm just gonna manually mute the channel point, the alerts. And that's what I'll have to do. Because unfortunately, it's like, I don't know what's going on with Stream Elements, but the Stream Elements dock where I can mute stuff is not working. It's just blank, which is annoying. But I mean, who the fuck knows what's going on? Maybe it needs an update or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we'll do it this way. Hopefully, it doesn't pork everything. Channel points and everything should still be up and running properly, though. Anyway, so let's take a look, and I'm kind of curious how badly they're crashing out in this one. So let's check it out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be once again revisiting iDubbbz Content Cop on H3, because as this video gets more and more exposure, the people involved with this project are crashing out harder and harder as they face a mountain of criticism, and also people are starting to pick up the many inconsistencies and hypocrisy contained throughout this entire Content Cop. Now, the reaction to this has been very negative overall. You can see the dislikes have surpassed the number of likes.
Yes, they have. It's kind of funny. When I created my thumbnail for my react to this yesterday, this was like the dislike ratio. Like I actually put this like dislike ratio in my thumbnail, the current one. Yeah, so the dislikes had outweighed the likes. And good night, Death Star.
68,000 dislikes versus 327,000 likes. Now, this ratio of dislikes versus likes is not too surprising given the context. So you have iDubbbz here, who's been on a self-help journey over the past couple of years, renouncing his old self and his old content, including his Content Cop series, which he described as mean-spirited and nothing more than just bullying. And he said he would never make another one again. Of course,
the lie detector test determined that was a fucking lie. Because again, it's like I said yesterday. Yeah, he's saying, I'm never going to do anything like this again, until he realized his channel was flagging, his videos were not getting views, and he realized, I'm not making money. And so what was his biggest moneymaker? Apparently it was the Content Cop stuff. So he said, I've got to do something to make money. Well, what do we think he made? The Content Cop. It's always about, people, like, that's the thing with YouTube, is that people on YouTube will say like this, oh, I've got to do better. I've got to, try and make a better, I've got to make myself better. I've got to try and change up my content. I'm not feeling good about myself. I'm going to change it up. And then the views start going down and the ad revenue starts going down. And maybe the memberships start going down if they're strictly on YouTube. And they realize, oh, I've got to go back to what was actually making me money. And in iDubbbz's case, it was the content cop. The problem was, if he'd come back out with an actual content cop and actually, like, done an investigation, like, that was legitimate and was not just pandering because he went, oh, Hasan and crew have big audiences. I'll jump on their bandwagon and all of their audience is gonna just come watch my channel and I'll get shit tons of views. And it didn't quite work out that way, did it? Granted, he did still get it. Granted, I will say one thing. Even if it's people hating him, he still got 5 million views in 4 days. Or sorry, 5 days. He still did get 5 million views. So regardless of whether or not people hated it, he got the views, he got the clicks, he got the ad revenue. And therein lies the question, Atanashi. Has he sacrificed all this credibility for this one-time payoff? Is he going to, after this, if he makes another video, is it going to get the same level of tractions? It is any future video that he does, are we going to see the same level of views? Is the next video that he puts out going to get this amount of view on it? That's the question. So was this like a one-time thing and now everybody's going to be like, fuck this shit, I'm out? Or is it going to continue? Well, yeah, exactly. But I don't know if they were bot views, Cortez. Like, Hasan and all of his basically cultists trying to boost his metrics and sending their audience to view him, it's not bot views. But it's like, okay, they're doing a one-time watch. Are they going to continue to watch his stuff? My guess is probably going to be no. It was a one-time thing. He's going to get a decent payout for this one YouTube video. The rest of his videos that follow this may not get the same level of view. Because unless he continues with controversy-related stuff, in which case, yes, he may get consistently high views like this if he maintains the controversy. Because as much as we hate it, controversy sells. It absolutely does.
He lied. He dusted off the series to make this content cop on his former friend Ethan Klein.
Also,
and it's
good question, Atanashi.
Ironically enough, iDubbbz and his companions in this video framed this entire thing as a nightmare for Ethan Klein.
Long enough for
However, it's
the
turning
ads to
into a
kick in,
nightmare
which is
for
right at the beginning
iDubbbz
usually.
and all of his comrades who tried their best to attack Ethan Klein. Now you can see the lovable band of weirdos in the background here, seeing iDubbbz fall this.
By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this last night. While iDubbbz and the rest of the cronies are back here dancing like a bunch of fucking brainwashed idiots, notice who isn't. Notice who is just sitting here in front of the microphone doing nothing. While everyone else is back here dancing like a fucking moron. Because they all look like absolute fucking morons doing the L dance. Every single one of them look like complete dumb fucks. He's just sitting here, not having it. He's like, no, I'm not gonna dance with the rest of you guys. I'm just gonna sit here because I'm better than you. I guarantee you. She basically told them, no, you're all gonna dance like good little monkeys, and I'm gonna sit here and not do anything because I'm fucking better than you. I guarantee you that's what happened.
Low is pretty hard to watch, employing people like Hasan, Piker, and Frogan and Debunking TV to try to go after Ethan Klein, who
he's
all
their
of these participants
Cortanus.
contributed to this video, they all hate Ethan Klein. They're even described by...
Oh, no, GBP, I would not be surprised if Hasan actually suggested they do the stupid-ass dance. Okay? Let's not bullshit with this. Hasan is their cult leader. Hasan controls everyone listed underneath here. Okay? And he told them, you know, when I don't know if iDubbbz came up with the idea of the skit and doing the loser dance, but I guarantee you Hasan said, yeah, you're all gonna dance behind me and I'm just gonna sit here mumbling nonsense into the microphone while you're doing this dance. And they all went immediately, Mike Zero. And they did the dance. Exactly. They are his little cronies. They will happily bob on his dick every day of the week.
By iDubbbz as his biggest haters, and they were the ones pretty much ghostwriting this entire content cop, and it was really just iDubbbz who was the mouthpiece bringing forward the same claims they've been making about Ethan Klein for years and years. Now, this is a very weird situation where an exposed video and a content cop resulted in the people who made it taking the biggest L in the situation. Ethan Klein is not taking the biggest L in this situation.
No.
And by the way, I will reiterate, I am not a fan of Ethan Klein. I'm indifferent to the guy. I have no real stake in this. I'm just looking at the reaction here. And it's clear based on how people have perceived this content cop, iDubbbz, the man who made it, is taking the biggest L. That is almost impressively
I'm
bad.
Curious how it's
and
defining as an L.
A lot of the participants here also taking a lot of L's.
Because I'm going to say, iDubbbz getting ratioed in terms of likes or dislikes is not taking an L. As much as we, you know, people like to tout, oh, this is, you know, the YouTube video is getting ratioed to hell, blah, blah, blah. That's not taking an L. Getting a like to dislike ratio is not doing an L. Because you know what? You're still getting views, registered views for people that have done that dislike. And the views is what matters. The views is what gets you the ad revenue. So I'm curious if iDubbbz taking an L extends beyond the video simply getting ratioed.
And again, they're outside their echo chamber. They're seeing criticism that they're not used to, and they're kind of shocked. They're really shell-shocked, if we're being honest here. They're kind of caught in the daylights here because they didn't expect this to flop so bad. And now they're crashing out on social media, and their hypocrisy in the videos being exposed.
Yeah,
and that's what I want to focus on today. So, a lot of people are talking about the appearance of Frogan in this video. So, Frogan being in a content cop is hilarious because 10 years ago, she would have had a content.
By the way, okay, so I'm guessing her shirt says something like Rebel or something like that. Again, I'm going to point out, because I always will, that Frogan wearing a Rebel shirt and raging against the United States and praising the events of 9/11, in other words, the attacks, well, because David, she still proclaims herself to be Muslim, wearing traditional Muslim garb. Excuse me. No, I fully realize that, Atash. Although I think there's some debate as to whether or not just wearing the head covering is enough. I do not know enough about the culture to say yay or nay, so I'm not going to speculate whether or not she's wearing quote-unquote appropriate clothing for her beliefs. She is wearing the head covering, the tradition, which is tradition for Muslim faith, and she is flat out, like, you know, she is, you know, she supports terrorism. I think one of her cousins was literally a Hamas terrorist. She has praised the actions of the terrorists from 9/11. She's wearing a rebel shirt. And yet, if she did any of this, criticizing the government, wearing a Americanized rebel t-shirt. No, it's Grey Matter. No. It don't go that direction because that's incorrect. Oh, it's cover art for Eagles Rebel song. Okay. Well, regardless, if she wore this garb in her native land, she'd be dead. That's the crazy part. She rages against America. She supports terrorism against America and against other nations. But if she did this, if she acted like this in her, we'll say, native land, she'd be dead. Which is ironic that she's raging against the country that actually allows her the freedom to do this and continue to breathe. And I've pointed out this up before. Every time she shows up on screen, I always point this out, and I will continue to point it out, that her supporting of terrorism against the US and other countries is ironic because if she actually resided in the countries that she is simping like fucking crazy for, she'd be dead in a heartbeat. And I will always point that out as being the planet-sized hypocrite that she is.
Content cop made on her. If you don't remember or you're not familiar with who she is, she's the lovely individual who said that American soldiers should get PTSD, among other things that I'll talk about in a second.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
Yeah. At this question, at this point, the question has to be asked. If she hates America and the U.S. military that defend her right to say shit like this, why is she continuing to reside in America? Get the fuck out of the country, go back to the country that you claim to love so much, and go live there and make Twitch content there. Go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. People will be happy to buy the fucking plane ticket for her to go back to the country that she simps for. But she won't. She won't. If it's ever suggested to her that she goes back to this country that she is simping so fucking hard for, instead of residing in the country she clearly fucking hates, she'll say, oh no, I know. She'll come up with some bullshit mental gymnastics excuse. Was she born in the U.S.? I thought because she had a cousin in Gaza that her family immigrated when she was like an infant. Was she actually born in the U.S.? Okay, so she is homegirl. So she is basically a homegirl at this point. And I'm sorry, it's the same thing. If you hate America so much, if Frogan hates America so much, she hates the U.S. military, she's praised the attackers of 9/11. She wanted to bake a fucking cake in their honor. If she hates the country so much, why not go back to the land of your people that you love so much? Because you literally hate America. Why don't you go back there, Frogan? I'm asking you directly on my stream right now. Frogan, you fucking hate America so much. You hate the United States military so much. You love what the attackers did during 9/11. You praise the terrorists in the Middle East right now, in Hamas. Why don't you go back there and join them? You agree with them so much. Why aren't you on a plane right now back to that part of the world to help them? Instead of sitting on Twitch, run your mouth off like a little bitch. Because you know that the second you step off the plane in that country and run your mouth, you're dead. They will kill you. And I'm not going to mince words on that. She knows that the Hamas would kill her in a heartbeat if she was to actually go to that country and talk the way she talks and live the way she lives. She fucking knows.
So yeah, the irony of that, saying these things about the people ensuring and fighting for your freedoms as you sit in your apartment, shoving food in your face while you literally scream for a living, is just peak disrespect. But she's done other things as well, like she had a sub goal where she was going to bake a cake that would look like the Twin Towers,
that's what I was
and then she was
talking
going
about.
to fly a plane into it. She also was participating in a race-based tier list, among many other things. A lot of people have
That's
a very
what caught her the
negative
ban,
view
is the
of this
race-based tier
individual
list.
for good reason. However, in response to the criticism many people involved in the content cop have been facing, she made this magnum opus, saying this: Ethan Klein wants to defend Muslims because he's being held accountable in the content cop for continuously being a vile person. iDubbbz has apologized, shown genuine change over the last decade, and is literally married to a Muslim woman, by the way.
So, in other words, according to Frogan, she has pleased the Führer. He has. So, according to Frogan, iDubbbz is a wonderful person because he drank the fucking Kool-Aid. And yes, Emperor, not the other shit. That's where people have been calling out the hypocrisy of the platform. Is she got banned because and I will point out, the only reason why she and the others involved in making that race-based, actually it was, but like making the race-based tier list, the only reason she got banned, very likely, is because it was a Capcom-sponsored event, and Capcom probably told Twitch, hey, you're gonna fucking do something about this, or we are never sponsoring another fucking event that you ever have. And Twitch went, okay, because they didn't want to lose that Capcom money. That is very likely the only reason why she caught the ban, is because Capcom had a problem with it. If Capcom had not said a thing, Twitch would have never banned her. Ever. They absolutely would not have banned any of them had Capcom not actually said anything.
Okay, that is very rich. Number one, this whole thing about iDubbbz showing genuine change. The only thing that changed for iDubbbz was pretty much his political beliefs and what side he wants to take on various things. I think that's the only thing that's changed. Now, you're saying iDubbbz has apologized and he's doing all these great things for Muslims. I remember years ago, this clip is resurfaced where he literally rips a Quran in half on camera.
That was sent from an electronics place, and it's the full-blown Quran. Some of you guys didn't bat an eye when I broke that Jesus VHS over my knee, but I know there's going to be a lot of people in the audience just cringe.
I'm no expert in Islam, but I have a strong feeling ripping a Quran in half is frowned upon. Okay?
Rev's not going to say it, but I will. Ripping a Quran in half like that is a death sentence in the Muslim faith. That is 100% a death sentence. You would be unalived if you did this in a Muslim country. In a heartbeat. The second you did this, about 5 minutes later, you would not be breathing anymore. But Frogan's like, oh, he apologized. He's fine.
Okay, as far as I can tell, he never apologized for this. So seeing people using Islam as a shield for iDubbbz, while he has clips like this of him going around with no explanation or apology for it, seems like peak irony. Now, of course, she also mentioned the fact that he's literally married to a Muslim woman, by the way, which this Muslim woman we're referring to also has an OnlyFans, which is peak irony, but also, as people have pointed out left and right, she literally has a video saying why she left Islam. She's not even practicing the faith
Gotcha, bitch!
anymore. So that's a complete and utter lie. But also, if you go to her account, you see her constantly say she was raised Muslim, that she's Lebanese. In some of these keyword searches of Lebanese on her account, sometimes she says she's half Lebanese. Sometimes she says she's just straight up Lebanese. That's interesting because
She's
recently
Lebanese
some
when it's
Discord
convenience for her.
screenshots have been leaked where she said she's actually 50% Irish, 25% Italian, and only 8% Arab. This is
Okay, so she's basically like doing a convenient 23andMe. So when it calls for her to be Muslim or Middle Eastern, i.e. the Lebanese, she's like, I'm Lebanese. When being Lebanese is a detriment, she'll say, well, I'm actually 50% Irish and I'm 25% Italian. And yeah, so it's basically ethnicity of convenience is what this is. It's literally, she's literally treating her ethnicity as a situational convenience for whatever will benefit her most. Shocking, I'm sure.
the Muslim and Lebanese woman that apparently is off limits for criticism because of who she is. Well, this is kind of crazy because personally speaking, I have more Mediterranean blood than her. I have almost the same amount of Middle Eastern. I guess I've been a minority this whole time, at least according to these weirdos on social media. I should have been using that as a shield for years and years, just like Anissa has been. But like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Totally exposed 100%. But of course, who comes in to defend Frogan from all this criticism? It is Hasan Piker, who had this to say about people criticizing Frogan.
Like, Asmongold, XQC, I saw some of them go fucking viral too. It's like, yeah, bro, she's hijabi, I know. And don't even fucking for a moment act like that does not contribute to this. They will say, oh, it's because we hate her opinions. Like, no, you reacted that way specifically for a very specific purpose, bro.
Wait, okay, I'm gonna let him finish his dumb fuck statement.
I hate this. I hate this shit so much. But it's not necessarily that I hate the reaction, and I think it's more so that it's so normalized to behave this way. It really grosses me out.
Yeah. He's saying without actually saying it. You notice he held back just shy of saying that, of making the claim that she is so derided because she wears a hijabi. He came this close to saying it because he started off saying, yeah, she wears a hijabi. Don't act like that doesn't contribute. Don't act like people are actually upset about her opinions. He came tiptoe edge close to saying people hate her just because she wears a hijabi and trying to claim that she's racist. Because if he did that, he'd get community noted into fucking oblivion with people pointing out, no, we hate her because she has flat out said she hates America. She hates the US military that has defended her right to actually this freedom of speech and has prayed for them to get PTSD. She has offered to make a cake celebrating the attacks on 9/11. Like, he knew that if he actually said you only hate her because she's wearing a hijabi, people would have just fucking noted him into oblivion. But he got tiptoe edge close and held back because he knew what would happen if he did.
Amazing. So right here, he's using the fact that she wears a hijab as some sort of a shield for anything she's facing. Notice how
I kept saying hijabi because it's on the screen. My eyes.
Response I've had. I've never made fun of her appearance or anything about that. I'm just pointing out the blatant hypocrisy.
Well, and by the way, I will point out people that have actually made fun of her appearance have not made fun of it because she wears a hijab. And yes, I know I was calling hijabi before. It's because hijabi is literally on the screen. My eyes were catching it and my brain was doing a thing. But yeah, people have not made fun of her, at least in the numbers that we're talking about, because she wears a hijab. People have made fun of her appearance because she's a chunky bitch. The hijab never came into the fucking equation. They just said she's a fat bitch. So, yeah.
Lies that she's raising in her defense of iDubbbz, his wife, and really anyone who is associated with the content cop. You don't have to reduce yourself to making fun of their appearance when what they're saying is so stupid that really should just be the target of what you're doing. But this is the internet. Of course, people are going to make fun of people's appearances. If you don't like that, well, then get off of the internet. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. But like I said, what we discussed here is just what she's saying publicly. And then she had this other part of her little spurg out here saying, if one of your self-proclaimed close friends made a YouTube video about how shitty you're being, sit back and reflect on that. Ian was so charitable to Ethan and approached it in ways most don't. Now, this is funny because there is a whole 2-hour content nuke on Hasan Piker that was released by Ethan Klein, which many people believe is the reason this content cop was made in the first place. And yet, as a good friend, wouldn't Frogan make sure that Hasan Piker actually watches this? Well, I guess not, because he still to this day has not watched this. He refuses to engage with this, which...
How the turntables. Yeah, Hasan is more than happy to support this content cop, but he won't watch one calling him out. No, you're right. He is a fucking coward. Yeah, he is a fucking coward. And his fragile little brain can't handle someone actually calling him out in detail for almost 2 fucking hours. And again, I'm going to point out, because I will point this out every time this comes up. Ethan Klein caught a ban from Twitch because he watched Hasan's content on his stream. Twitch literally said that Ethan Klein's content that consisted solely of him watching Hasan's own stream is ban-worthy. That Hasan's content warranted a ban for Ethan because Ethan watched his stream. But Hasan has never been banned for it. Ever. Just gonna point that out.
Which would be the exact opposite message of what she just said in that tweet. Now, there's another individual who was in this video named Shawn DeBlack. That's his name. I'm not making anything up there.
Only one recently out
He's very aware,
and that
I
was
guess,
because
of
he called
also
for
the
the
fact
death
that
of
no
a
one knows
sitting
who he is, which I
congressman.
guess I can commend the self-awareness there. But from looking through everything associated with this guy, all I see him is defending these people in the Hasan Piker orbiter station here, trying to defend that race-based tier list where he said basically that this whole list wasn't actually racist, despite the fact that literally the F tier was Jews and the A tier, the S tier was Arabs. I think that's a race-based tier list. I think anyone reasonable would interpret that way. But also there's some clips of him saying this about Destiny.
Can somebody just like, it would just be so easy to just, it would save, like, solve all of our problems. Like, we would have socialism now at this point, right? We would have social.
God damn it! Communism! Communism! Communism!
Today we're talking about.
Come on, Nick! I need you right now. Nick, I need you. He said the magic words, Nick. Come on, gamer, help me out here. Because this guy doesn't understand what socialism is. He does not, Shawn DeBlack doesn't actually understand what socialism is. When he's saying, like, oh, if we just unalived Destiny, because that's literally what he was saying, if Destiny would just get unalived, if someone would delete Destiny, we'd have socialism by now. When he doesn't understand what the fuck socialism actually is. In his brain, socialism basically just means you get everything for free and you suffer no repercussions as a citizen for it. I know, I know, Revan, that's part of the brain rot. Yeah, like, they don't actually understand what socialism is. And these are the people that I know Nick loves just going off on, because what they equate to socialism is communism. Their definition of socialism, the way socialism is implemented, is communism. And they're too fucking stupid to figure this out. They like, what? Anyway, I'm not even gonna get into that one because that is a whole other thing. But, yeah. The siren call had to be done. Unfortunately, our hero has not answered, so we must suffer through this.
Socialism at this point. If someone just went out
Thank
of
you,
the way,
Leo.
it would be so easy. This is what happens when you don't kill every single slave owner after slavery.
There you go. See, there you go. He just equated destiny to being a slave owner. That's how fucked in the head this guy is. People like this can't get over it. They are still harping on something that happened hundreds of years ago. They literally cannot get over it. People like this are the people that are still demanding reparations for generations, preceding generations of slaves. Like, these are the people that will go, my ancestor was a slave a couple hundred years ago, I demand reparations. Even though I have never in my life been a slave, I'm actually a perfectly well-to-do individual that has an occupation of sorts, and I am not in any financial difficulties whatsoever, but I should get reparations because of my ethnicity or because of my skin color. That is the kind of person Shawn Black is, and does not fucking understand what reparations actually is and how it was facilitated and why. So in case Shawn Black is watching my stream, which he's probably not, but I don't fucking care, I'm gonna explain anyway. Reparations was done for slaves at the time of emancipation, so those that were slaves could get back onto their feet after being slaves. Instead of literally getting a cash handout, they were given 40 acres and a mule, so that these individuals could basically start lives over again. That is what reparations were all about. It was about slaves basically being able to have a life post-slavery. It was a means of helping them to try and have a life and help themselves. That was reparations. And yeah, most may not have actually been given it, but again, it is, yeah, it's like, oh, Zev, I am indeed like bare bonesing the fuck out of this. I fully appreciate that I am bare bonesing the concept of reparations. It's just, don't have time to really drill down into it. But that is the general concept and idea of reparations. That also took place hundreds of years ago. Like what? Quick back of the envelope calculation, like 250 years ago? Like, yeah, it was 250 years ago. You are not, Shawn Black, you are not currently a slave. You are not currently a freed slave. Your family has not had to deal with slavery for probably several generations. Shut the fuck up with this bullshit. You're making God knows how much money on Twitch right now because of the freedoms that the country has afforded you. Shut up.
They have children, and their children have children, and their children have children, and then their children have accidents that should have ended up on a sock, and it becomes destiny.
So this brain trust is saying that slave ownership, that the social construct of slave ownership, this future brain donor is saying that the social construct of slave ownership is a genetic marker in the DNA that is passed down through generational means. That this is that the social construct of slave ownership is a genetic trait That is what this guy is saying. That is so fucking stupid, it defies description. Shawn DeBlack, you are too fucking stupid that you defy description of it. Congratulations.
Yeah, here's the thing again to clarify, I don't like Destiny at all. Not one tiny bit. But of course, advocating for all this crazy rhetoric directed towards him, again, just seems in line with everyone else who participated.
Oh, I know, Curtis. I'm sure that's been said many
content
times.
Cop on Ethan Klein. Now, there was also this other part of the video, and the reason I'm talking about this Shawn guy here is that there's a very strange section at the end of the content cop where iDubbbz tries to...
And by the way, for all that you guys are talking about, the factual statement that many African people actually sold their own people to the Europeans as part of the slave trade. Yeah, I'm very aware of it. I bet you he's probably aware of it too, but he's conveniently ignoring it because it doesn't fit with his narrative. So he will never acknowledge that factual event occurring because it completely fucking derails his narrative.
Every living person on this planet has ancestors that at some point in human history were slaves and slave owners.
This is also true, LaRock. And it's not just referencing, you know, the European slave trade, everything, even like going back as far as like the Romans and so on and so forth.
To spin it all around in a positive way and says, you know what, maybe Ethan Klein needs a hug. He also says he should be beaten, but that's, you know, a whole nother thing. But he basically tries to get everyone in the video to make what was supposed to be a genuine set of compliments about Ethan Klein. So basically after beating the guy up for an hour straight, employing his greatest enemies, at least they said something nice in the closing minutes. That makes everything better. It makes it fair, makes it impartial. But let's play this part for just a second.
Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan. He said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
So there...
Yeah. Fair, balanced content cop. Like, I have not seen any of his content cops before, but correct me, like, if anybody in chat has seen his content cops before, would it be reasonable to say that his previous content cops were a bit more fair and balanced in terms of the information he uncovered and then presented, and didn't say, like, these people... No, that's not the case? So he's always been like an asshat about this, saying that people should just get this shit kicked out of them? Okay, fair enough.
Ian is saying that Ethan deserves to be beaten up, while he's trying to say that he also could use a hug. Very strange approach once again, always resorting to violent threats and violent rhetoric.
Okay, hang on. I want to hear this again because I think Rev may have misspoken slightly there.
It looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No.
Ian is saying that Ethan deserves to be beaten up.
Hug? He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
So there, Ian is saying that Ethan deserves to be beaten up, while he's trying to say that he also could use a hug.
Okay, hold up. Okay, that's what I was listening for. Yeah, I think Rev got confused because Ian did not say that Ethan could use a hug. The psychologist that Ian was interviewing said that Ethan could use a hug. Ian vehemently disagrees with that and says, no, he shouldn't get a hug, he should get an ass beating. So I think Rev may be a little bit confused on that one, because Ian never suggested that he should get a hug.
Very strange approach once again, always resorting to violent threats and violent rhetoric. I mean, he fits right in with the ghostwriters of this video. It's very impressive, actually.
True. Maybe he's found a new home.
Something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not
Really?
illustrated in previous content cops that
Wait. You're claiming you're bringing back content cop to be fair. And yet all you did was side with a bunch of anti-American terrorist sympathizers. And you're claiming you're gonna be fair while you're doing the loser dance with people that openly support and promote terrorism and openly hate America and the troops that defend America? You're gonna claim that you're gonna be fair? Go fuck yourself with a bad dragon, asshole. You are anything but fair. Do not fuck with it. Nobody believes a fucking thing you have to say.
He's fair in this one, where everyone involved is described as Ethan's biggest haters.
I think should have been, and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid.
Just like you deserve all your criticism,
at the end of the day,
fucko.
we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him.
And this was all bullshit.
I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that...
And then it goes through with many of the participants in this video saying something nice about Ethan Klein, and most of it is
which is all bullshit.
Compliments, by the way.
Not even some of these were not even backhanded compliments. The one fucker that's like, oh, he's got nice hair. That was his compliment. He can rock a crew cut and he has nicely trimmed facial hair. I'm sorry, he wasn't even pretending like he was gonna try and say something nice. None of these people have anything nice to say. Every word that left their mouths during this 2-minute segment was bullshit and a lie. Every fucking word. Yeah, and did Hasan even participate in this? I don't even remember. I don't even think he participated, did he? Yes, Eric, her attractiveness is grossly outweighed by the fact that she is perfectly fine with small children being mentally scarred by false CPS reports resulting in CPS showing up at the house and traumatizing small children. She's totally cool with this because she thinks that they won't even remember it. So any attractiveness that she might possess is out the fucking window because she has an absolutely filthy fucking soul. And she is a goddamn anti-Semite. She is an open anti-Semite. So, yeah. One is not outweighing the other here.
But I was able to snag a screenshot of this before this individual went private. They made a tweet with thousands of likes saying, why did someone treating another person like a flawed human being and being fair and forgiving make me cry? And one of the examples was this Shawn guy who was trying to make compliments about Ethan Klein in that video. Well, it turns out, to the dismay of weirdos like this, it was all fabricated. It was all lies. I know, shocking twist of events here, but...
Pikachu shock face, chat. Is it working? Is my Pikachu shock face working? Come on.
Shawn openly admits on stream after the video was released that he faked all this. He thought he had to say something nice, even though he didn't want to. That's the only reason why he said what he did in the video.
We're watching Hasan watch it, and
oh, the first thing that flashed by, scammed.
And I watch Hasan watch it, and Hasan doesn't have a nice thing about Ethan. And the chat asked what I'm thinking. I'm like, wait, you didn't do a nice thing about Ethan? And he was like, no. And I'm like, wait, that was an option? I could have just said no. Mr. Charitability over here. Mr. Charitability over here said no to saying a nice thing about Ethan, but I did.
Wait. Did he just refer to Hasan as Mr. Charitability? Did I hear that correctly? Hasan, he called Hasan Mr. Charitability. Now, this guy didn't just drink the Kool-Aid, he had the whole fucking punch bowl. Yeah, I mean, Atashi got right. Like, Shawn, Hasan played you. Like Hasan used you like a $2 whore. And you went hook, line, and sinker. You gobbled up his cock as fast as possible. Was it worth it? Shawn? Was it worth it gobbling down Hasan's cock and doing whatever it is he told you to do? I really want to know. Was it worth it? Believer, he didn't find a friend group. He found a cult. We need to make that distinction. This is not a friend group. This is the cult of Hasan. Because every one of them is all came from Hasan's community. So they are part of his cult.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like this was the case with a lot of people in their initial reaction to the video being released. They thought it was going to be gassed up. They thought this was going to be some gigantic W for them. So they just started kind of opening up and saying all these things, and they're dismantling the video even further. This proves even the section that was supposed to be nice to Ethan Klein was all fabricated just to make the bullies in this situation look like the nice guys. It was manipulative and weird. And yes, going back to, not deleted, but this account has gone private since then. Going back to this,
of course it has.
Only someone who's completely naive was unable to see how manipulative and weird that section of the video was. And the fact that also Hasan Piker was allowed to sit it out is, well, peak irony. But
well, anybody with the bare minimum of logic knew right off the bat that it was all bullshit. As soon as we saw it yesterday, I fucking called out. I said, this is the fucking same thing that they do during political debates where the moderator says, can you please say one nice thing about your opponent? And they do, and they don't mean a fucking word of it. They're just playing it up for the audience. I called that the second they showed it. And anyone with even a modicum of common sense would do the same thing. Nobody fucking believed that they were actually being legitimate. Absolutely no one.
You might have noticed a constant mention of Dr. Kirk. Now, to give you guys some context of what's going on here, I didn't even know the full story of this until recently. So you have this therapist who has gone around and done some reviews of apologies. He just takes kind of the apology for what it is, doesn't matter who the person is, and gives it a grade of how effective the apology was. And apparently he did one for Ethan Klein at the request of iDubbbz. And iDubbbz didn't like the score.
Wait, is this the right stream? I thought I was watching Ember Paradox, not Nux Taku.
Hey! I don't know if I'm to be insulted by that or not, Andrea. I don't watch Nux's stuff, so I'm not sure. Is that praise or an insult? I don't know how to feel about this. Yeah, I suppose so, Atanashi. Okay.
So iDubbbz, in response, then flew out to Seattle, where this guy is, and then came to his office and essentially tried to press him into changing the score for Ethan Klein to make it worse. He did not change the score, by the way, but also in response after that, He then did the famous crying segment where Ian was crying over people being mean to his wife online, which he also included in the content cop as a way to make himself the victim somehow in his own content cop on someone else. But in response to that, Dr. Kirk has come out and basically said, whoa, I don't know why I'm so involved with this content cop. I was just kind of doing my old reviews here, and I basically didn't know any sort of background on who any of these people were when he made these grades.
In the moment, just came up with a policy to say, look, you know, in that moment, I did minimal research and background, and I evaluated the apology video for what it was. The grade isn't an indication of an endorsement of the individual or a condemnation of the individual.
And that was his response when he was confronted by iDubbbz because he didn't give the ideal score for Ethan Klein's apologies.
Now, iDubbbz, maybe you should vet the people you're sourcing out to in the future to make sure that they have the right politics first next time. Because clearly, you wanted someone that was on your side of the spectrum in terms of opinions, and didn't want someone that had an even take and didn't go into it with a preconceived notion. iDubbbz wanted someone that was fully on their side, like all the other people he got to work on this video.
Very weird section when you're trying to weaponize this therapist into a way of getting a dunk on Ethan Klein. Very weird section of that video. And then another participant we can look at is Denim's TV, but do we care enough?
Exactly.
I mean, this is all she's done. She said this wake up Ethan thing referring to the opening bit of the video and then posted this cringe, and that's been pretty much it. Like, I don't know, this is the woman who justified CPS being called on children like Ethan Klein's children because they're too young to remember anything that happened, so it's okay in that regard. She said many of other disgusting rhetoric. She's also put bounties on other content creators' heads for...
Yes, it certainly does look like Hasan has got a Make America Great Again cowboy hat. Certainly does look like that, doesn't it? Okay, so Dreamer, when basically it is believed, I don't believe there's any proof of it, but it is believed that people of Denim's community, because Denim's has been basically gone after Ethan Klein, H3, and basically, like, his kind of said that somebody should call CPS on Ethan, and so it's believed that people of her community, yes, Denim's the anti-Semitic, yes, I neglected her proper label. And so it is believed that one of the anti-Semites community, or multiple, put in a false CPS report that resulted in CPS going to Ethan's house and basically potentially traumatizing their children with this false report. She was totally cool with it. She was happy about it, and she made the claim of, oh, it doesn't matter because the kids won't even remember it, so it's fine that they received trauma. That's the whole thing behind that. And this is the hat that we're talking about. This hat right up here. It looks like a Make America Great Again cowboy hat. I don't know, Grindhouse. I have no fucking clue. I don't fucking care either. I should preface that. I don't fucking care.
Daring to have different opinions than her. There's really nothing else to really say about her.
That's why I went the fuck off
that's
on
not
her
already
when you
been
watched
said.
it.
But also we have this section here where now Ethan has challenged iDubbbz to a debate on Israel and Palestine. And he kind of opened this up for himself.
Boy.
In the video, iDubbbz lectured Ethan on this whole conflict. And yeah, you're opening yourself up to this potential situation.
Perhaps coming towards Israel, where Ela grew up. Perhaps from Lebanon, Hezbollah, perhaps. Does that ring a bell to you, you dumb, ignorant fuck? How dare you attempt to lecture me on this conflict? You just learned about this like 2 weeks ago, clearly, and you're just deferring to Hasan as an expert. It's mind-bendingly dumb. Bro, please call in and debate me on Israel-Palestine. Let's see who knows more about the conflict, you dumb fuck.
0% chance that happens, by the way. Absolutely.
No. He'll do like Alyssa Mercante and back down immediately. I bet you he probably won't even respond to Ethan because he's scared. Because if he responds to Ethan with anything other than a cool time and place, we'll do the debate. If he responds to it with anything other than that, he gets fucking roasted. So he's not going to say a fucking thing.
0% chance. But say what you want again about Ethan Klein. He did something that a lot of his detractors in the video would never dare to do, and that's actually confront what was being said as soon as he found out. He found out about this content cop as he was live, and I think the timing of that was not a coincidence. They wanted to basically startle him while he was live to try to get a reaction out of him, but they got the reaction they didn't want. He actually responded by immediately turning on the content cop without any sort of preparation because he was able to take on
it's kind of like a reversal.
What they were saying is what the ghostwriters of the video have been saying for years. He was prepared. He made this part 1 and then the next day made part 2, responding to everything. This is something that some of the participants like Hasan Piker refused to do with the content nukes about him that was uploaded by Ethan Klein. But yeah, this whole situation is an absolute mess, and at this point, what else do you have to say about any of this? I mean, this video was an absolute bomb, a disaster, and really just besmirched and destroyed the legacy that was the Content Cop series. He dug up the grave of the series just to release this stinker that even people who are impartial to these parties understand was a very reckless and unneeded content cope of a session. It's just bad. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. A lot of what we heard of yesterday, but we did get some new stuff today.
It's ironic how all these people of the same cult start beef with each other when they need a viewership buff.
Oh yeah. It's very clear that iDubbbz did this specifically because his channel was flagging, he was not getting views, and he was in desperate need for views, and so he knew that, Hasan has got this cult, and he said, fuck it. The people that are part of Hasan's cult, are getting views, and they're actually making money, so I'm going to jump in with them, and I'm going to basically ride on their coattails and use them to try and buff up my channel. Let's see how this works out for him, shall we?